Hey guys, it's Eric here and this is my Xiaomi Mi A3 review. I have been using it for about a week now. First off, a really quick unboxing. You have an envelope that houses your SIM ejector tool, a warranty card, a user guide. You get full support for all the 4G LTE networks available here, a smoky TPU case. I guess we'd never have to worry about this one turning yellow. You have your device wrapped in plastic. Let's take out the stickers on the front and on the back. This is the kind of gray color. It also comes in not just blue and more than white. It does sound a bit like Google Pixel's nomenclature, which is a weird way of Xiaomi telling us it's Android One competition or something, I don't know. You get a standard 10-watt charger and a USB Type-C cable. Not quite as generous as they were with the Redmi Note 8 series, perhaps to keep the price down. Let's take a look at the design. It's a classic glass and plastic sandwich. Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front and back. Feels pretty good in the hand and easy to grip, not slippery at all. Huge fingerprint magnet though. It's not as big as the average sized phone like the Infinix S5 here and not as small as the iPhone 11 Pro. It's sitting sweet in the middle. Perfect for one-hand typing. However, using two hands will feel a little bit cramped if your hands are bigger than my average size hands. You get 3 cameras with flash, a 48 megapixel main shooter, an 8 megapixel ultra wide lens and a 2 megapixel lens for depth sensing. Camera bump is a little raised but not that big a deal cause it appears flush with the case on. Also, even though it looks grey on camera, everyone I asked about this color thought it was black. On the front, you have a 6.09-inch HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 19.5:9 aspect ratio. On top of that display, you have a water drop notch that houses a 32 megapixel camera, an earpiece, and a notification LED. The fingerprint sensor is situated underneath the screen. Sounds great, but is kinda slow, like slower than your typical fingerprint sensors on the back of your phone. Not that it's any consolation, but the less secure face unlock does its thing pretty fast when the lighting is good. On the left, you have a hybrid SIM tray that holds 2 4G LTE nano SIMs or 1 SIM and 1 SD card. On the right, you have a power button and volume rocker. On the top, you have your IR blaster, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and a microphone. On the bottom, you have a single speaker and USB Type-C port. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, being that HD Plus display, because not only does its predecessor, the Mi A2 Lite, come with a full HD Plus display, but every other Xiaomi phone in this class comes with a full HD Plus display. I don't know the reason for this, but we've seen other brands like Samsung do it on the Galaxy A30s, Tecno with the Camon series, and Infinix with the S series. It is still a Super AMOLED display, so the colors really pop more than any LCD panel out there. But when you take a closer look, you can see more details on the 1080p display. Now, with your naked eye, you have to go dangerously close to see any kind of difference, and you most certainly cannot tell the difference at arm's length. You know that flickering thing that sometimes happens in a recorded video of a laptop screen or television? That is what you're seeing right now. It is not pixelated at all with your naked eye. However, sunlight legibility of the Mi A3 display is below average. All that crispiness goes out the window under direct sunlight, and you have to set it to max brightness to see what you're doing. This makes adaptive brightness a bit of an annoyance. You just go ahead and turn that off. Overall, I can live with a HD display because the one major downside is not being able to watch YouTube videos in 1080p, and that's not something I do on my phone very often. On the software side, Mi A3 shipped with stock Android 9 Pie cause it's on Android One program. Settings are bare essentials, no option to hide the notch, but you get reading mode and always on display. You get very little bloatware right out of the box and you can delete them if you wish. You actually have to download that Mi Remote app for free on Play Store if you wish to use that IR blaster. You get dark mode on here, but it doesn't turn any of your notifications dark, not as feature rich as what you get on MIUI 11, which is like my favorite UI of all time. One thing missing that I often use is the screen record functionality. Another thing, a good one about Android One phones is early updates, and Xiaomi India tweeted about Android 10 coming in mid-February, so fingers crossed for that one. I got the 64GB storage variant with 4GB of RAM, and you get about 49GB of available storage. As for the performance, this uses the Snapdragon 665 CPU clocked at 2.0 GHz, same one on the Redmi Note 8. I haven't reviewed that one yet, but I would say it's pretty much like the experience I got on the Nokia 7.2. I would have said Redmi Note 7, but the Note 7 had the occasional lag and got a bit warm while multitasking. Mi A3 runs cooler, is lag-free and real smooth with everyday social media apps, surfing and multimedia stuff. The single speaker is loud enough for me, and here is how it compares to the Huawei Y9S's speaker. When it comes to gaming, as usual, I played PUBG on default settings, which is balanced graphics and medium frame rate. Sadly, you can't get up to HD graphics. Gaming on this guy is actually pretty decent. I did not feel any lags or frame drops or heating issues while playing PUBG. Gaming on a small screen might take some getting used to, as the buttons start to feel like they've been moved if you're coming from a bigger phone. Meanwhile, everything is just smaller. The 4000 mAh battery on this guy lasts a whole 2 days of my regular light to medium use, but for the purpose of testing the battery endurance, I did a lot of social media and 4 hours plus of gaming, all on Wi-Fi. It got me over 11 hours of screen on time with 15% left to spare. It is not surprising considering the fact that it's a small Super AMOLED 720p display and the blacks and black screen kind of save battery life and yada yada yada. I'm pretty certain that this will get you more than a full day of use. It took me 1 hour and 56 minutes to charge from 0 to 100% with a third-party 18-watt charger, not the 10-watt one that came with it. The Mi A3's camera is pretty feature-rich. You get slow-mo, time-lapse and night mode. By default, the primary camera takes 12 megapixel shots, but you can get in the settings and change that. You can see a clear difference, but the 48 megapixel shot is about 8 MB in size and I don't see myself using it often. Images came out looking pretty sharp outdoors with a tiny bit of overexposure. The portrait shots have a really good sense of depth. Same can be said about the selfie camera. Let's introduce GCAM version 7, an adaptation of Google Pixel 4 camera to be precise. I'll be leaving a link to the exact one I used in my pinned comment. GCAM is crispy and more detailed outdoors, but indoors the default camera actually does look better in some scenarios. Something GCAM really does well that even the iPhone 11 Pro doesn't is the selfie night mode. Surprisingly, night mode on the default primary camera looks a lot sharper than what the GCAM primary camera shot. It shoots videos in 4K with image stabilization turned on in this footage. So this is the front-facing camera of the Mi A3. I'm pretty impressed by the color of what I'm seeing, but there's still overexposure, which I don't particularly mind because all mid-range phones have this overexposure thing going on behind me. And here's what the audio sounds like. Even though I am a big fan of compact phones, Xiaomi Mi A3 isn't offering you everything you want in a smartphone. Media consumption and gaming are certainly more enjoyable on the Redmi Note 8 series, but what it promises is a very clean user experience without annoying ads, Android 10 and 11 updates at least, picture quality that makes your friends regret using devices without GCAM support, and of course battery life that you don't usually get on compact phones. Overall, this follows Xiaomi's usual pattern of giving you more value than you're paying for, and I got more satisfaction using this guy than I did on the Redmi Note 7, which I was quite impressed with last year. The Mi A3 is priced at 58,000 Naira, which converts to $160 for the 64 gig variant, and the 128 gig variant goes for 66,000 Naira, which converts to $185. I'll be leaving my affiliate link in the description box should you wish to shop on Jumia. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what I'm up to. Please subscribe for more videos like this as it will mean a lot to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.